Welcome back. Now, the South African beef industry is still reeling from the foot and mouth disease outbreak. While the consequences are far-reaching, there are promising developments in disease management that could help turn the tide. Roelie van Reenen, supply chain executive at Beefmaster, joins me now for greater perspective. Thank you so much for your time, Roelie. Of course, this is something that a lot of us maybe only got to know in 2025, but it's actually been there for a long time, this foot and mouth disease, with certain outbreaks at certain times. So just lay the timeline that we've been dealing with foot and mouth disease and how it's gotten to concerning levels in 2025.
Hi, Zanatia. Thank you very much for the opportunity to talk to you. Really appreciate that. Foot and mouth has been endemic in southern part of Africa and Africa all around for many years. You could maybe say for as always. It's endemic in animals such as buffalo, say, for instance, which is still active in the Kruger Park area, say, for instance, as a good example. They don't affect the buffalo, but the buffaloes are carriers. And for many years, we have been able, and if I say we, I mean the southern African countries have been able to keep it at bay through practices of zoning or disease management areas and vaccination within the borders of those areas with the cattle that do have contact with the buffalo. And that has kept it at bay. January 2019 was I wouldn't say historic, but a catastrophic event whereby the actual live virus came out of those management areas and has since slowly, mostly, but rapidly at times been spreading throughout the country as far as the Eastern Cape, as last year's breakout have shown us. And the Eastern Cape is an actual fact very relevant, as there has never been documented cases of foot and mouth disease within the Eastern Cape. It's a far-reaching implications for our industry. The 2025 outbreak, however, has been significant in numbers and has affected very large role players within our industry. And it's very unfortunate, but it has affected the industry to a very great extent. And we have seen the consumer having suffered due to higher prices of beef for that. And also on the primary producer side, lack of market access with those affected, with even just their neighbors being affected with a problem. I'm not even talking about the poor people who have been affected with the virus itself.
Yeah. I mean, you talk about, these outbreaks then going outside and spreading outside the zoning areas. And I'm wondering then what is at the heart of this spread, and particularly the 2025 outbreak? Is it lack of compliance?
I think there's a number of things. Is that this virus does not really spread on its own, except when animals have contact with other animals, or infected animals have contact with clean animals. But the matter of the fact is, it is us as industry role players who put wheels under this virus, and we drive it around to other areas that have not been affected. We are the culprits with this one.
Yeah. I mean, obviously, we are part of a global, landscape supply chain as well. Has the flow of South African beef into export markets been disrupted in any way?
Yes, since 2019, it has been disrupted on numerous levels and events, and we've, as industry, but as government, have been able to open up certain markets again after the 2019 and 2022 outbreaks. But since the 2025 outbreaks, the markets has been lost, such as the Far East, as China, say, for instance, which has not been opened, and we need a new bilateral trade agreement to be reached with that, which the government is busy with, but it does take time, and it is not that easy. Other markets are wary, and they are nervous about it, and we might lose more markets if this disease do keep on spreading, which could be disastrous for the cattle industry.
Has it actually led to a point of financial and reputational damage in the country?
Difficult to monetize it or put it into a value, but it has in fact done that. I'm not even referring to an affected party or individual that has contracted the foot and mouth within his herd. Those consequences are devastating, but it has affected the consumer in that they had to pay more for beef due to the availability in shorter periods having been constricted, but also for the primary producer, loss of market access means you can't sell your product. And how do you do that? It doesn't matter what size you are. It's very, very difficult to keep a business going or keep your family going if you're a subsistence farmer, if you don't have market access.
Roelie, is vaccination available?
Vaccines are available. Currently, we're buying from Botswana. South Africa is buying from Botswana.
Yes.
But it is available. They are manufacturing, and the recent outbreaks, the availability of vaccines have made it easier but faster for individuals affected to start vaccinating. The process is lengthy to go through it. Don't wish it upon anybody, but it is available.
Yeah. So, I mean, then what are the tough but necessary decisions that need to be made to protect the industry over the long term? And really, where should that leadership come from?
I believe it should be a PPP, a private-public partnership with government. If everybody decides to break the law, the government can't do much about it.
Yeah.
We will have to collaborate with government and reach amicable solutions that suit everybody in order for us to have a form of movement control, zoning, or call it compartmentalization, and vaccination programs that are active in the problem areas and outside, so that we can eradicate this virus within our country and take it back to where it was originally and where it belongs.
So, I mean, really, Brazil actually dealt with foot and mouth disease and successfully eradicated it. What can we then as South Africa learn and use?
I believe that the zoning and the compartmentalization they did apply in Brazil was successful. With that, the collaboration with government and the vaccine programs within the affected areas. And it's very vital that they had clean areas and they had affected areas. And they kept the virus out of the clean areas and vaccinated the affected areas and worked it back until, after about a decade or more, they were able to do that. World Animal Health declared them free of FMD. Without vaccination.
I mean, really, I think the highlight there is really just to collaborate for everybody to agree on a strategy and an agenda in terms of protecting the beef industry. But thank you so much for your time and for your insights there, Roelie. Really appreciated. That was Roelie van Reenen, Supply Chain Executive at Beefmaster.